The bounty hunters. All right, they're clearly worrying the thing and have its attention. Maybe I can get a proper look at them now, Slytherin asks himself as he watches the girls on the ship outright dissected of its defenses. He adjusts his own drones and shifts the coverage ever so slightly. Trainee Schmidt, your drones are shifting pattern. Explain yourself. The controlling mind behind this creature is distracted by the ground forces. I'm going to attempt to narrow down its location. He answers. Confirmed, but be cautious. This creature already attacked you once through a drone link. I know. I just want to figure out where in its house its room is. I have no intention of putting another drone in there or going in myself, but we need information and I am in the best position to retrieve it. He says, keeping his tone formal and controlled. He's angry, he's scared, but he knows what has to happen. If ever there is a perfect time to get a good solid look at the inside of the thing's sanctuary, it's now. And no one else will survive. It's direct attention. It doesn't fully want to hurt him. Part of it wants him safe. It's a layer of protection no one else has. It has to be him. The drones shift position and one directly ahead of the monster starts rising up and up, lining itself with the creature even as it begins to slow. The monster's own momentum turns against it as the target approaches the drone, and he slowly starts to match the monster. A kilometer's distance, 850 meters, 700 meters, 500, 350, 250. The drone is inside, and instead of keeping it in the air, he lowers it to the floor. Keep it unobtrusive and subtle. Tiny wheels pop out and the small drone begins scanning the area and slowly mapping out the house on top. Although calling it a house is an understatement, it's as large as a full family home, and by which he means a full family with 101 adults and an ever-increasing army of children. I'm in the upper building. The scale is inconsistent with its size. We're dealing with expanded space, Slytherin reports. Entrance hall contains several stairwells leading to differing locations and numerous doorways. There is a heat buildup on the deck. Directly below where the cannons were severed, it's doing something. Potential attack incoming. The open wounds of the monster suddenly shift and spit out massive globs of acid and slag that arc over the deck like mortars. Everyone scatters and the decks are covered with burning acid and metal, so that would definitely distract him. If there are 3 minds in this creature, then one is likely keeping the thing moving, another defending the deck, and the third looking to deal with the adept, which is the only reason he has opportunity to scout the house. All eyes are elsewhere. So long as he doesn't stumble a drone directly into its face, he should be fine. Heat levels reduced, but slowly rising again. It's going to be doing that again soon. Slytherin reports as he sends several commands to warn him when anything on the deck gets near that level of thermal power again. The first doorway to the left leads into a sitting room with hundreds of chairs. Names are carved into the chairs, scratched out, and recarved over and over until the things look so flimsy that actually using any of them would leave them shattered and broken. There is not a speck of dust on the floor or a single shaving of metal. The entire area is obsessively clean. Portraits line the walls with their images defaced so severely that it's impossible to even tell what species the picture belonged to. There is little else to the room, to this dilapidated dining hall of delusion. Were the controlling minds of this creature hoping for family? It would be sad if the creature wasn't a cannibalistic abomination that orphaned countless children and shattered entire communities to feed its own appetites. Freudian excuses are no excuse, Slytherin says to himself. The turn of phrase had been odd when he had first heard it, but hearing it explained had made a lot of sense. It doesn't matter what kind of horror or trauma is in your past. You have no right to force your pain on others. The moment you force your trauma on someone else, you go from pitiable to a problem. And in this case, a big problem, a very big problem. He moves the drone through the next doorway and scans the area. A large hallway. Many doors and a staircase at the end provokes a sigh. He sets the drone to automatically map out the area in a low-profile mode. He needs to pay attention to the fight and can't afford to split his attention any longer. Thankfully, he has logic trees and drone programming to pick up the slack. Not quite as good as having a second brain, but close enough. I've got a drone inside. I've set it to low profile, scan the place. Hopefully, we'll be able to pinpoint exactly where the target is sooner rather than later. Scaly sends over the comms. Just make sure you don't piss her off again. Things were bad enough when she was kind of calm and grabbed you. Having it happen when she's good and riled up will be a bad thing. Pukey says over the link. Hey, that reminds me. What are you planning on doing since this is an armor-only joint? Vexa teases into the link, and there's a snort in return. In case you've forgotten, I do have armor. Very specific armor. Very special armor. Armor I've been tweaking. Pukey answers. No. Scaly buddy, do you recommend entering the house? My team and I have prepped our anti-adept armor. Can we ghost in and kill the beast? The area inside is a lot larger than it looks. However, it doesn't seem to be trapped, more a massive tribute to what it never had or always wanted but never got. Scaly says as he glances over the never-used bedroom, carved of stone and metal that the drone is leaving. Oh, great, a melancholic monster. Wonder if it'll bend our ears with a poor me story to try and justify the thousands upon thousands of people it's killed. Pukey almost spits out. Oh, probably. So I take it humans have no sympathy for such a creature? The adept asks. I'm saving my sympathy for its victims. The people that didn't want to hurt anyone and were hurt in return. You know, the innocent. Humans, stop it, or I may start liking you. The adept threatens. Oh, heaven forbid we find common ground with allies. Pukey jokes. But in all seriousness, there's no line of sight to the controlling aspect, so we can't snipe the thing from outside the building. And with expanded space, we have no way of actually knowing if any shot will hit the target, even if we know exactly where it is at all times. Shooting through walls might send the bullet up and through the roof or straight back out at us as space is overly warped. We need to be in the building itself to ensure that a shot can actually kill. And what does anti-adept armor consist of? The adept asks. You'll like it. It even kind of looks like something your empire would use. Not as shiny, but with the right color scheme. Pukey answers. Okay, that bone-white armor you were rocking when we were dealing with Ivan. Scaly remembers. Bingo, we've upgraded its efficiency a bit, but we should be immune to all direct axiom threats and effectively invisible to axiom sensing techniques. Be careful. Effectively invisible is not invisible. The adept cautions him. Oh, I know. I'm very aware, Pukey says, and there's a sound of something clicking together over the line. All right, just need the helmet. No more white bandana? Scaly asks. Skull helmet now, Pukey says. Charming, the adept notes dryly. She says this even as she directs another massive blast of energy to cook another cannon from the inside out and leave it vulnerable for being cut, torn out, and tossed. Intimidation is a powerful thing. Even if the adept doesn't surrender, it will at least throw them off to see something they cannot detect nor affect with direct axiom. And if it looks like a corpse, they may hesitate or make a mistake, which gives us the advantage. Pukey explains. Heh, yeah. There's a reason we only paint our armor along where we stained it with blood. Vexa chuckles. Nothing like letting some fool know that you've gotten close enough for splatter. Nothing like committing gruesome murder to merely decide a paint job, the adept says in an upset tone. That sounded personal, but I doubt it was me, unless your friend was killed on Octron Spin. No, the adept says and does not elaborate. Personal indeed. All right, son, I need a definite yes or no answer. Do you recommend entering the house atop the monster? Slytherin pauses as the sheer weight of what he's being asked hits him. His father, his uncles are all trusting him with their lives. He nods as his resolve hardens. Yes, but only if your suits are completely impregnable. This enemy is clearly a very potent adept and must be taken 1,000% seriously. Copy that. Wraith Armor deployment online. We're going in as ghosts, which means I will be taking care of maintaining communications while Operative in Gaul is with the team. I am Lytha Powercoil. Hey, Mom, Scaly says with a grin. Slytherin, I'm very proud of how well you're dealing with this. Can you keep it up? In my sleep, let's go. That's your father and uncles rubbing off on you. You say that like it's a bad thing. It's not. It most assuredly is not, Lytha says with a smile evident in her voice. Could we please keep this channel to official communications only? the adept asks. As heartwarming as these family dynamics are, we're in the middle of an active war zone. Geez, lady, calm down. Stress levels are going to be high enough as is without you trying to give yourself an ulcer. Vexa chides her. I'm not one of the races with an insane digestive system. I don't get ulcers, the adept snaps. Stay on target. We have several more cannons to go. We're disarming this damn abomination now. That said, she again directs her troops through the effective minefield of traps and defenses to the base of 2 of the remaining cannons. Thermal buildup in the wounds of the creature. It's about to launch an attack. Scaly sends over the link. Holy hell, we can see it from above. That shit is churning like a witch's cauldron. Pukey answers. What do you mean you can see it from above? The adept demands after she gets the ground forces to scatter. We're gliding down. Minimal axiom use and effective aerial insertion. Pukey answers. You're inserting now? She demands as she looks up and sees nothing. We're directly above you and soaring in. I see nothing, she answers. That's the general idea. Any axiom using perception and we're invisible. We're using the instincts and abilities of adepts against them. Like you, Pukey says. There's a few moments of excitement as J3 is slightly off target and Mr. T grabs him and pulls him inside. Thanks, big guy, J3 says, and Mr. T nod. Well done. Now everyone double-check your comms. If the tri-tite alloy interferes with the protein communication array, then we have a problem. Pukey orders. They're all in ghostly white armor with ragged capes and strips of white cloth hanging from them. The only details that can be made out are the skull-like visages of their helmets. The cloth blurs their presence in the axiom so severely that they're effectively non-existent within it, and the capes are designed with numerous tricks that, coupled with the cloth, it's made from allow them to hide, disrupt axiom effects, and glide with ease. It also blurs their profile, and with the hood up, it makes it so that they look more like imaginings to the rare few things that actually can see them. To Latha's and Cindy's eyes, they looked like a thin bit of fog that was inexplicably not moving. And that was with direct vision. To Pukey's mechanical eye, it was just a pale blur. To his organic one, he could make it all out clearly. The hat is here. The big man sounds off. J3 accounted for, the sniper says. Mr. T pities these fools, the more refined strongman says. Tang, the second sniper, is all business. Bike here. Communications is accounted for. Mustard present. 1/2 of demolitions in the chemical expert. Dong, solid trooper. And Itchy rounds it out. The second half of the demolition crew finishes. Good men. Our mission is clear. We are to hunt down and kill the controlling mind of this monster. With Scaly scouting a good chunk of the mansion, we are to stay together and aid in the scouting effort until the target is located. Our actions depend entirely on how capable our opponent is on actually perceiving us and how alert it is to our presence. If all goes well, Mustard and Itchy will set a bomb up against it and blow the bitch to kingdom come. If it's protecting its person, well then Tang and J3 have the show with their rifles. Bike will keep us in contact with the forces outside. Everyone else is support and defense. We are not fucking this up. The rounds of confirmation he gets from his team is heartening. They move to the right, opposite of Scaly's drone. They're on the hunt.